Hello everyone. Today we are here to do a panel discussion on a very special occasion, the National Doctors Day and the CA Day. My greetings to all the doctors and CA out there on this special day. I'm Mohua Mandal. I lead brand and corporate communication at Poonawalla Fincorp. Joining me today at the panel are senior leaders from the company. The first out here is Anup Agarwal. He is our Chief Internal Auditor. Next to him is Mr. Rajendra Tathare. He is our Chief Credit Officer. And then is Mr. Bharat Aggarwal. He is our Business Head for Unsecured. My first question is to you, Rajendra. We from Poonawalla Fincorp offer professional loans. Would you throw some light on why this product is important for us and how is it impacting the long-term strategy of Poonawalla Fincorp?
First of all, a very happy CA Day and Doctors Day to all these CAs and doctors. Coming back to your question, Mohua, we at Poonawalla Fincorp Limited believe in Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is the India's mission. In order to support this, we are into funding of various loans to the professionals and to the medical experts in setting up their businesses, their clinics, their hospitals, and even for the expansion. We are also into medical equipment funding, which helps the doctors in providing their services to the remote areas of various parts of India. On the long-term business prospects for this loan, there are three important parts to it. One is the professionals are highly qualified, they have consistent income, and the third and the important one is the demonstrated behavior of repayment. This leads to a lower risk segment for us, and we service these customers, these professionals, through our various branches across India and also through our web portal.
So over to you, Bharat, and my first question to you is, would you be able to touch upon the professional loan as, what does it entail, and how is our offering at Poonawalla Fincorp different from other lenders?
Sure, Mohua. So two aspects to that question, Mohua. One is that, how, what all it entails, right? So we are offering professional loans across the width of the country. We have a very vast geographical distribution, and also we are distributing professional loans across an array of degrees, right? We are covering all the chartered accountants, and we are also covering a vast majority of doctors, be it MD, MS, MBBS, Ayurvedic practitioners, dentists, or even homeopathy doctors. So I think in terms of coverage, in terms of distribution, not just geography, but also the degrees which we are covering, we have one of the best distribution pan-India in terms of an institution. So what we have done is we have innovated very vastly on the process to avail a professional loan. It is a simplified process, it is a highly digitized process, so that the turnaround time for disbursement of such a loan is the best in the industry. It's the lowest practically in the industry. So what it does is it makes the loan accessible. It comes at a very, very fine pricing. It comes at a very low cost, and there are practically no hidden charges as well for our professionals. So I think that in that aspect, the loan is actually the offering. The entire offering is actually exclusive from an industry perspective.
Right. I think, Anup, I'll start with you by first congratulating you on this special day because you're a qualified CA yourself. And because of that, let's start a bit from your personal journey. Why did you decide to become a CA, and considering, it's one of the toughest exams to crack?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mohua. At the outset, I would like to wish the entire CA and the doctors fraternity a very happy CA and Doctors Day. I think that to some part of the question is answering the question as well. Like it being the toughest exam itself was one of the reasons why I entered into CA, because the satisfaction or the kick that I would have got after having cracked or becoming a CA was the aspiration with which I enrolled for this course. Apart from this, I at a personal level, I'm more fascinated with numbers. I like to play with numbers, and CA was giving me that one option. And being a CA, it would have also opened a plethora of options for me at a career level. How do I want to pursue my career ahead?
Okay, so since you've gone through the entire rigmarole, what do you think is the role of CA in the larger scheme of things? Like how does it the role of CA impact the economy?
CAs, chartered accountants, they play a huge role in the economy. They act as a bridge between the regulator, the government bodies, the various stakeholders, and a common man. They also act as a helping hand. They guide a common man in multiple domains of the financial world, and at the same time, I believe that they hold a position of responsibility. With the ever-growing importance on compliance and regulations, so they act as a very, very key role, and their role is ever increasing.
Right. Bharat, what are the reasons why CAs seek loan from us?
So, multiple reasons actually. Typically, they would seek if they are starting off a practice, right, or they are looking to expand their business, right. So, it might mean that they need to look at a larger space for their office. They might intend to buy, they might want to rent out, right. They might wish to add additional professionals to their entity, right. So, there could be multiple reasons why they are borrowing a professional loan. But the right kind of professional loan obviously can help them scale up their practice rather quickly. So, I think that it is the key that the identification of the right professional loan should be done, and that should be availed eventually by the respective chartered accountant.
Rajendra, coming to you and also talking about the other professionals whom we are celebrating today, the doctors. Now we see that in tier 1 cities there are very good facilities, etc., and the doctors are availing it in terms of infrastructure. But when it comes to rural areas, there is a huge gap. What are financial institutes like us doing to bridge this gap of the lack of infrastructure and healthcare in rural areas particularly?
So as we know, rural infrastructure is an area of concern in India. In order to help the affordable medical services to the rural India, we are offering various loans to the medical professionals who in a way can support the society by offering their services in remote parts of the country. Also, we are acting in a way as a bridge between the medical healthcare and the society to build a very strong infrastructure for the medical.
Okay. So as Bharat, as the doctors are doing their bit and we are doing our bit to give them the capital support, but what kind of challenges do doctors face when they are seeking out any capital support from any lenders, not just us but any lenders, and how are we helping them?
Typically, Mohua, what happens is that they face 3 major challenges. Doctors will always face a paucity of time, right. Second is that they would never want to get into a document heavy process. So typically how banks or other financial institutions have structured their product, they would ask for heavy documentation. It's a document intensive process availing a professional loan. And second, what happens is it is a high physical touch process where they would expect the doctors to walk into their branches and then they would sanction a loan for them. The third aspect which makes the cost of a professional loan typically prohibitive for doctors is that there is always hidden charges which are added to the loan agreement fine print. We at Poonawalla, we have a very simplified process. It's a highly digital process, and also we have a very highly transparent loan agreement, because of which there are no hidden charges which are levied on the customers. So I think given this array of offering which we offer to the customers, our loan offering is very, very attractive to the doctors as compared to other financial institutions.
Right. I think transparency is very important in any transaction, and Anup, the next question for you is, coming from there. We see a lot of frauds happening these days. What would your advice be to these professionals? How to ensure that they are not victim to these frauds, and financial institutes are now getting notorious for that?
Absolutely, Mohua. So as we see with the increase of digitization, it has got its both pros as well as cons. So it's very important that we have to safeguard our interests and we have to maintain the sanctity of our documents, and it is also to ensure that there is no identity theft, which has seen a huge upscale in recent times. So there are a couple of things, I believe, checklists which a person can adopt. One, I would say use of DigiLocker. It would be a safe vault where we can save our documents. Two would be that we should be very pertinent about whom do we share our documents with. We should always share it with authorized and appropriate people rather than sharing it with people at random. Three, I would say, is that we should always sign the purpose for which a document is being given, so that the same document cannot be replicated for other purposes or other notorious purposes. Three would be, obviously we keep getting mails from RBI and many banks as well, that we should not be clicking on unauthorized links or maybe not sharing our OTPs. So these are the few things which should be done. One important thing would be that many of the fraudsters, when they want to fraud with any of your documents, they do it with a PAN card. So PAN card is used more for photo identity proof. So there are a lot of other documents also which are acceptable as a photo ID proof. So PAN card, we should be sharing it at the last option if asked for, unless it doesn't serve the purpose.
Definitely, definitely. These are very important points, I would say. Rajendra, so other than these documents, which are of course mandatory, do the doctors and CAs need to give any collaterals for professional loans at Poonawalla Fincorp?
No, so these are completely unsecured loans and this doesn't need any collateral. However, if the requirement is higher, we also offer loan against property, that is LAP. So it depends on the valuation of the collateral and other policies as applicable, which decide on the loan amount.
But Anup, is this only for the independent doctors or CA, or can salaried CAs can also get professional loan?
Absolutely, yes. A chartered accountant or a doctor, they are eligible for a professional loan. At Poonawalla Fincorp, we have got two products which aim at professionals. The loan to professionals is a product which is for practicing professionals, be it a chartered accountant or a doctor or maybe any other professional. And a salaried CA, they can opt for a personal loan. A personal loan may appear to be a very normal personal loan, but at Poonawalla Fincorp, since his qualification is a CA, he gets an extra edge compared to other professionals. The probability of him getting a loan increases significantly. The TAT, that is the speed at which the loan will be sanctioned and disbursed to him, reduces significantly. So yes, CAs do have an edge and they can very well avail the facilities provided by Poonawalla Fincorp.
Right. So Bharat, we spoke about the various practices of doctors and various kind of doctors who get these loan and avail these loan from us. What about diagnostic centers? Do they also qualify?
Yes, absolutely. So diagnostic centers, we have a specially curated product in terms of medical equipment loans, which largely covers diagnostic centers. So our doctors who are running their own diagnostic centers can avail of medical equipment loans. They can check out the pricing. We have one of the finest product, which is again, it's a digital product, it's at a fine pricing. And again, it's a highly transparent, in terms of charges as well. So I think it's one of the best product in the industry again.
So in this entire discussion we are having here, one thing which has come out very strongly is how Poonawalla Fincorp is using digital interfaces, and there is a lot of technology intervention to make this entire process simpler. So Rajendra, my question to you is, would you be able to walk our viewers here through the entire digital process and how we have simplified it? Like what is it that we are doing in terms of professional loans?
Yeah, so while we covered part of this in the question to Bharat, I would like to emphasize that we have built a complete digital process. It's a complete non-touch automated process, and there are a lot of APIs basis which we are offering the super fast decisions because the turnaround time is the key, and so we process the loans with a very thin documentation, and our objective is to offer a best-in-class service to the professionals.
Interesting enough, Rajendra. So I guess in today's discussion, we all learned a lot. Our viewers did learn a lot of various ways of availing these professional loans, what all it takes to entail these loans, and important things to keep in mind in terms of both collaterals, in terms of documents, and how to safeguard themselves from frauds as well. So thank you, panelists, so much for this. Anup, any closing remarks?
Sure. I think it was a pleasure interacting with everyone. And from the entire Poonawalla family, I would want to wish all the CAs and the doctors a very, very happy day on this occasion. And customer first is our mantra at Poonawalla Fincorp. And we pledge to render our continued service to the entire fraternity and all the professionals. Thank you so much.
Thank you.